Hi everyone, welcome to the Felroad Express's Holiday Board Game Buyer's Guide. This is a small series in which we're going to help you, the consumer, find that perfect board game for your loved one or your children. Well, I mean, not that your children aren't your loved ones. But anyway, we're first going to start off with Target. So, why would you go to Target? Maybe it's because you don't have a board game store near you, or maybe perhaps you just want to go to one of these be-all supermarkets to get your holiday shopping done quicker. So I've taken a few photographs of the board games that I've seen in Target, and I'm going to give you my suggestions on what you should be getting. Now, before I go any further into this, I just want to say that, if your kid saw some game on a commercial or saw it walking through the store and said, Mommy, Daddy, I gotta have this, by all means get it for them. But I can't guarantee that it's going to be a great game, and I can't guarantee you're not going to want to blow your own brains out after playing it several times and then your kid says, let's play it again. So, if you do have to get one of those games, consider also buying one of these board games as a companion to that game, because I promise you, these newer, better board games are going to be much more engaging, not just for your kids, but also for you. So let's look at our first picture here. We've got one shelf that I want to draw to your attention in particular, and that's the third one up from the bottom. It's got Catan, it's got Splendor, Pandemic, Sonar, and a few other games. And so that shelf right there has what I would consider the modern day board games. These are the PlayStation 4s of board games. Whereas the rest of these are kind of just Ataris, or just some cheap attempt at getting your money. Didn't really put much thought into it. So let's take a look. First we've got Ticket to Ride, and I didn't get a very good picture of this, but there's Ticket to Ride First Journey, I believe. That's a game for younger kids, and the Ticket to Ride series is a wonderful family game. So is Catan. Catan is a great replacement for Monopoly. Sonar, you definitely need to have at least 4 players to play Sonar. And for those of you who are wondering, Sonar is a simplified version of Captain Sonar, made by the same company, Medagot. Tucked away back there in the back, it's Betrayal at House on the Hill, and it's probably tucked away back there because people already bought several copies of it. That is a wonderful horror storytelling board game in which you all enter a haunted house, but one of you is there to betray the others. Splendor is a good family game. Not one of my favorites, not one of the favorites of a lot of people on the Fel Road, but for younger kids and families and people who are getting into the hobby, this is a good starter. And then there is Pandemic. Pandemic is one of the #1 games in the world. And when I say #1, that means audience vote, not the #1 most sold. I guess you could also look at Quirkle too. I hear that's a good game, but I can't really speak for it as I've never played it. Anyway, moving on to another view, we've got another view of that same shelf. A few more games on that shelf, but I really can't promise that they are going to be great games, as I've not played them. Boss Monster's a good one, but it's kind of a slow burn. And now moving on to the party games. There are lots of party games out there, and party games have what I call gimmicks. Take Exploding Kittens. Their gimmick is that when you open the box, it meows. It's definitely not one of my favorite games, but like I said, if somebody's itching to have it, why keep that from them just because I told you I don't like the game? Cards Against Humanity is absolutely a fun and hilarious game if you are not easily offended, and it falls under that category where it's not got a gimmick, but it does kind of have a shelf life. It does have this thing like many other card games like it, where once you've played it a lot, you almost get burnt out on it and you kind of don't want to play it again. But that doesn't mean that you can't buy a little expansion and go back and have a little bit more fun with it. One board game that strikes my eye up here, and I kind of cut it off at the very top, is Codenames. Maybe I'll get a better picture of it and post it right here. Oh yeah, there it is. Codenames. So Codenames is an award-winning party game for 4 players, and it's definitely intriguing and thought-provoking because you have to try and get into someone else's head and figure out how are they going to make the connections between these 3 different words if all I can tell them is ocean. It's interesting. Joking Hazard is one that I've heard of, haven't played it, but I've heard good things about it. And another thing is, if you get a party game off of this shelf and you play it and you enjoy it, by all means, keep it, get another party game. But overall, I just want to say Codenames and Joking Hazard are probably going to be your best bets as far as these target games go. Now, on an end cap, I saw a bunch of these Hasbro wooden box classic games. They look really nice, they look fancy, but unless somebody asks for them or unless you absolutely know somebody loves that game, don't get it. It's just another version. Honestly, it's kind of like a classicified version of these classic games. And if you're thinking that, oh, this will be great for my hardcore gamer uncle or whoever, no, it won't be. They're probably looking for those niche games that you've never even heard of. And also, there was this one island that said Family Game Night. I honestly didn't see anything that was worth my game night on that island. So, that is it for the Target portion of our Holiday Board Game Buyer's Guide. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and be sure and check out some more of our videos. Thanks for watching.